I'm Jerry James Stone and you're watching Cooking Stone. And on today's show, I'm going to make a boozy deviled egg. This is the perfect thing for Easter because these deviled eggs are not only tasty, but they're pink. I think you're going to like them. Enjoy! To pickle these eggs, we're going to actually, the first thing we're going to do is create this brine that we're going to store them in or pickle them in. And there's a couple different ingredients for this. So the two ingredient sets kind of fall, they sort of fall into two categories. There's fresh ingredients, which we will use in the brine while they're pickling. So like the serrano chilies, I want my the pickled eggs to be a little spicy. So add these serrano chilies and fresh thyme, which I'm going to use in the brine to store the eggs in. But then I have other items like peppercorn and bay leaves, which we're actually going to cook with our red beets. And that's actually going to create, those will cook for 20 minutes. So those flavors will open up in the beginning and this other stuff is for the end. So let's go ahead and create that brine. So the first thing we're going to start with is our red beets, which have been skinned or peeled and cubed. And now we're going to add in 1 cup of apple cider vinegar to this mix. And we're going to, from there, we'll add a couple tablespoons of brown sugar. This is going to be a really, really lovely combination. Bay leaf. We're going to add about a tablespoon of the peppercorns, a clove of garlic, and like a half teaspoon of anise seed. Now we're going to add 3 cups of water. And we're going to boil this for about 20 minutes, just until the beets are tender. We're now going to add our hard-boiled eggs to the brine, or I guess the brine to the hard-boiled eggs. So the first thing I'm going to do is add in the serrano chili peppers because I want this to be a little bit spicy. And a few sprigs of fresh thyme to go in there. Get some nice flavor. Now we're going to add the sauce that we cooked. Hopefully not spilling it everywhere since it is beet juice. And I kind of spilled it everywhere. I wanted to get all the flavor, so I'm going to add in all the beets and the peppercorns and the bay leaf. Everything that we use to create that brine with is going into this jar. Now we're going to remove our eggs from the brine. Look at the color of that. It's just amazing. So we're going to go ahead and remove them and then half them and then double them. Now that the eggs are halved, we need to remove the yolk so we can go ahead and mash that and add all of the lovely ingredients to it. Most importantly, the alcohol, because these are going to be spiked deviled eggs. Just mash those up. I'm going to add the olive oil first because I find it's easier to work everything else in once the olive oil is there. Add our mayo, add the vinegar, add the Dijon mustard. Now we're just going to add the vodka. I do this last because depending on the size of the eggs, you don't know how much you can really introduce. You don't want this yolk part to be too runny, so you can kind of see how boozy you can make them. So you want them to be boozy, but you don't want the yellow to be runny, right? Now we're just gonna fill our deviled eggs with the vodka-y mixture. You can use a pastry bag if you want to make them all fancy, but I want to eat mine soon, so I'm not going to do that.